In 2020, we've seen a number of new statutes related to COVID pass, which sometimes makes deciding what type of leave to offer your employees a bit more complicated than normal. So it's important to think through each applicable statute and decide whether or not it applies to your specific factual situation. So if the employee is subject to a governmental order of quarantine, or if they have a minor child who's subject to a governmental order of quarantine, they may be entitled to certain benefits under the New York COVID-19 Leave law. There's also the FFCRA, the federal COVID-19 leave law, which applies where the employee is subject to a governmental quarantine order, similar to the New York law, but there's also a number of other qualifying reasons as well. So there's also certain types of leave that applies under the federal law where the employee is advised by a healthcare provider to quarantine, where the employee is symptomatic and seeking diagnosis, where the employee needs to care for the child because the child care provider or daycare is closed or unavailable due to COVID-19, where the employee is taking care of an individual who's subject to a governmental order of quarantine or has been advised by a healthcare provider to quarantine, or where the employee is suffering from a substantially similar condition to COVID-19. So that's a much broader range of qualifying reasons under the federal law. The federal law does expire December 31st of this year, unless Congress and the President decide to extend it. But starting January 1st of next year, the New York paid sick leave takes effect, and employees can start using leave under that, including where they or a family member needs treatment due to a healthcare condition. So certainly that may apply in COVID situations as well. In addition to all the new COVID-19 statutes, you also have to keep in mind all the traditional statutes still apply. So FMLA provides for time off where the employer or family member has a serious health condition. New York paid family leave applies where a family member has a serious health condition. The Americans with Disabilities Act and the New York State Human Rights Law applies where the employee has a disability, as well as the New York Disability Benefits Law would also apply in that situation. So a lot of things to think through for each employee situation, but each law is a little bit different, and there may be different combinations of laws that apply in different situations.